when I talk about accountability, what I'm really talking about is a different model of the chain of command. And a chain of command from the military construct is you have a guy up here, and a guy up here, and a guy up here, a guy up here, and a guy up here. And you talk about an up and down circumstance. Now, I believe in accountability for the responsibilities that we have to each other and to the mission. But the construct that I was brought up on was this linear, vertical accountability model. But through the years, it just didn't make sense to me, because all you saw was the person in front of you or the person that was underneath you. And that didn't fit with me. So I said, I want accountability because I believe in it, because there's certain things that people expect of us as leaders. So flip it over on its side. You can still have a chain of command, but now what you do is you're now focusing not on the person in front of you or the group in front of you or behind you, and not worrying about people or groups that are further out. But what you do is you put it on its side, and then what do you have focused in on? The purposes and the mission of the particular group or industry or business or educational domain that you're working in. And what you're focusing in on then is the ability for everyone across an organization to lead themselves, to take the initiative, to understand that they have a responsibility and they have the opportunity to help fulfill the mission. That, to me, is such a stronger way to understand accountability in a different way, a horizontal way. And I'm very, very passionate about it because you take into those sense of who we are, and we want to hold ourselves accountable then, too, that responsibility. So those are some of the things, and I can go through other types of personal perspectives that I have, but those are some of the things that help me along the way when I make decisions, and I do that in such a way that involve others too. And with one of my colleagues here, we do work that way in the team that we have. And I think at the end of the day, we arrive at decisions and the ability then together collectively to implement those decisions that have the best impact on the university as a whole. So, okay, let me finish off. And this was kind of fun. Many, many years ago, I was traveling with a very, very close friend of mine, and we went to a conference, and it was on leadership. And this gentleman turned out in his career to retire as a two-star admiral in the Coast Guard. Really wonderful guy, great thinker, good writer. And we went to this conference, and he was on one side of the plane, I was on the other, and we started scribbling out some notes going back and forth. And together we created what we call the 4 C's of leadership. Okay, C, not S-E-A-S, but no, Coast Guard, that's okay. But the four C's of leadership. And then we use this model in the development of certain programs at the Coast Guard Academy and in other places too. But I wanted to share this with you because I found that if you can have something that can link on yourself, 4 C's may make sense to you. Competency, commitment, community, and character. Okay? Competency, commitment, community, and character. In terms of competency, I think that as individuals, whenever we went around the table here, we asked, what major were you? MBA or accounting, I said I'm a chemist. We have to have as leaders a certain sense of competency, maybe within a discipline. You also have to have a certain competency in terms of leadership, too. You have to know your stuff. You have to have the knowledge. And especially as we move our nation into a different type of economic foundation of a knowledge-based economy, this becomes even more so. But competency, you then tie in the idea of teamwork, of expertise, working together, attention to excellence and quality, professionalism and knowledge, the ability to apply what you know and then assess so you can do it better, or figure out where the gaps were, what you can do again so it can be reinforced, or what just didn't work. Absolutely nothing wrong and through that knowledge that you have of throwing something away because it doesn't work. You just don't want to keep on doing something over and over again and not succeed. But I think you have to understand that one of the key factors in being successful is to know your stuff. Be competent. Commitment. That's a commitment to yourself as an individual and your responsibilities to yourself and the responsibilities you have to others. The reason why I talk about commitment ties right nicely into responsibilities because from the commitment to each other, you are really developing a trust. Part of that commitment then, therefore, is underscored by integrity. That commitment to the mission of an organization. The responsibility that you have to take the initiative. I should put that one down too as one of my really points of value, because I remember talking to my children about initiative. And we called it U-initiative. And whenever the kids would make sure that the bed was made without being asked, or to go out and get some wood for the wood stove when we were living in Connecticut without being asked, well, that earned you a Snickers bar. Okay, U-initiative. Okay, but that to me is a commitment to yourself and to the others that you're around you, and then you create the trust that you have with each other. And I do think that there's commitment in terms of both a physical and also an intellectual courage that comes out of a commitment to the mission and to yourself. Community. I think I already hit in terms of what I believe is an inclusion. And when you talk about community, what you're doing is, as a leader, you need to promote an environment that is respectful of each other. Your responsibility to community is in terms of ethics, in terms of the individual company or business or not-for-profit, your family, your church, other types of organizations that you have. There's certain ethics that go along with your community that you are, by virtue of who you are, contributing of yourself to. And again, the idea of diversity comes through that. In terms of community, I do think that there's a nature that within that community, you as a leader are going to continue to learn and help the community move ahead too. Very important to see that. And finally, out of community, you do develop a sense of mutual respect. Respecting others as they would respect you. Very, very important in community that you have that mutual respect. Can you disagree? Yes. Can you debate? Absolutely. But within that construct, you're not taking it to a personal level. What you're doing is taking it in a very, very respectful manner. And I think that really comes out of community. And of course, to finish off that nature of community, to come back to that idea that I shared with you before, that inclusion leading to the outcome of diversity is very important within the community. Now finally, character. Character is what sets you apart from everyone else. It's who you are. And you own that by virtue of the values that you have, how you conduct yourself with each other. It really does set yourself apart. And I think that from character, you have then developed that intellectual moral reasoning that is healthy. Because through character, you have to understand that the right things are what is critically important when you make decisions. Character was what sets you apart.